Professor Edward Reynolds stood at the front of the lecture hall, a sea of expectant faces before him. Today's lesson was on string theory, a topic he was particularly passionate about. As he delved into the intricacies of the subject, little did he know that the day would unfold into a perplexing journey through the enigmatic corridors of reality. The first anomaly occurred during lunch at the university cafeteria. Edward reached for his glass, the condensation cool against his fingers, intending to take a sip of water. However, the glass slipped from his grasp, descending in slow motion. To his bewilderment, it never left the table. A moment of disconcerting confusion settled over him, as he wondered if his mind was playing tricks. Shaking off the odd occurrence, Edward decided to immerse himself in the routine of his day. As he sat in contemplation, a student approached him with a warm smile. "Professor Reynolds, I just wanted to thank you for being my favorite teacher for the past 4 years of college. You've made a lasting impact on my education," the student expressed with genuine appreciation. Edward, however, was taken aback. He searched his memory for the student's face, but it proved elusive. He couldn't place the young woman, and a sense of disconnection settled over him. "I appreciate your kind words," he replied, a hint of confusion in his voice. The student nodded and walked away, leaving Edward to ponder the strange encounter. How could he not remember a student who claimed she had been his favorite teacher for 4 years? It felt as if a piece of his own history had been erased or subtly altered. As the day unfolded, more inexplicable incidents added to Edward's sense of unease. Names of colleagues on his contact list appeared to rearrange themselves, and equations he wrote on the board during lectures seemed to morph into different symbols when he momentarily averted his gaze. The glitches of his reality left Edward increasingly disoriented. In the midst of these strange events, he found himself outside, seeking solace in the fresh air. There, he observed a squirrel meticulously gathering nuts. Strangely, the creature seemed to fixate on him with an intensity that went beyond the usual behavior of a rodent. Edward could swear the squirrel was smiling at him, an uncanny expression that left him bewildered. In his office, the strange occurrences continued. Shadows danced on the walls in patterns that defied the logic of light and space. Edward, a man of reason, couldn't help but question the very nature of the reality he had always taken for granted. During a particularly riveting lecture, Professor Reynolds reached into his pocket and produced a simple piece of string. With a deliberate motion, he dropped it onto the cold, tiled floor. The room fell into a momentary hush as the professor bent down to retrieve the string, now entangled in a chaotic mess of tight knots. With the knotted string held aloft, Professor Reynolds addressed his students, his voice steady yet laden with a newfound realization. "This, my dear students, is no ordinary mishap. It is evidence that we live in a simulation, an intricately crafted construct designed by entities beyond our comprehension. Our reality is a facade, a mirage unable to accurately replicate the complexity of the natural world. The physics engine of our existence stumbles when tasked with simulating the intricacies of a tangled string. It is a glitch in the system, the undeniable proof that the world we perceive is not real." A ripple of disbelief and uncertainty swept through the lecture hall. The students exchanged bewildered glances, grappling with the weight of the professor's revelation. How could their everyday reality be nothing more than a simulation? Professor Reynolds, however, continued to unravel the layers of this enigma. As we navigate our lives, the glitches manifest as anomalies, moments of déjà vu, unexplained events, or the inexplicable feeling that something is amiss. The tightly knotted string in my hand is a physical manifestation of the limitations of this simulated reality, a reality that cannot accurately replicate the complexity of true physics. Professor Reynolds then turned to us.
"You are not in base reality. You are not real,